I had someone call me up the other day and he said to me, I was injured because of this doctor's carelessness. So now I want to go ahead and bring a lawsuit. And I began to explain to him what's needed in order to determine whether or not he has a valid case. The moment I told him that we couldn't start his case immediately, you know what he said to me? He's like, I don't understand. In an accident case, I could start this case right now, today. You want to know what this is all about? Come join me on this walk through the neighborhood as I share with you exactly what this is about. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. Okay, so this guy thought he had a valid medical malpractice case. And now he was calling me to see whether or not he truly did have a case and whether I would be willing to look into it and to go ahead and start a case for him. So now, one of the first things I did when I got on the phone with him was I asked him, hey, where did this happen and when did this happen? Now, why is that an important question? It's an important question because I need to know a couple of things. I need to know, number one, whether or not this happened in New York. If it didn't happen in New York, I couldn't help him. You want to know why? It's because I only practice law in New York. The second question that I asked him was, when did this happen? So assuming that this did in fact happen in New York, and it did, when did this happen is a critically important question. Why is that? Because I need to know whether his matter is timely. Every single case, every single matter has a time limit in which to bring a valid lawsuit. In a medical malpractice case, I have to know whether or not this person suffered significant harm and injury. Now, why is that important? Because in these cases involving medical malpractice, claims against your doctor, we have to show a couple of things. We have to show, number one, that there was wrongdoing, that the doctor was careless and violated the basic standards of medical care. Number two, we have to show that that carelessness was a cause, it doesn't have to be the cause, of your injury. And number three, we have to show that the injury is significant or permanent. It can't just be some temporary bruising, and yes, your feelings were hurt, or yes, the doctor may have done something wrong and you don't have an injury. That's not sufficient. So, all of those things have to be confirmed by a doctor who has either treated you or reviewed all your records. If any one of those things are missing, then guess what? There is no possible way to go ahead and bring a lawsuit on your behalf. Now, this guy was so insistent that he believed he had a valid case, and not just that, but that he wanted to start a lawsuit that very day. And you know what I said to him? I said to him, that's not going to happen. And he said, I don't understand. If I was in a car accident, I could start this case today. I could find an attorney, he could file the papers, and that's it. We get going right away. And I said, you know what? That's absolutely true. But this isn't an accident case. Now, how is this different? Because this is a medical malpractice matter, you're claiming that a physician violated the basic standards of medical care, which meant that we have to go ahead, assuming we are willing to look into your matter, we have to go ahead and do a detailed, thorough investigation. We can't simply just get a police report and go ahead and file your lawsuit against the careless driver. That's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. So how does it work? The way it works is that, as I explained to him, listen, we have to go ahead and do a detailed investigation. That means meeting with you for an extended period of time, getting details about exactly what happened. Then I have to go ahead and get all of your medical records to determine and verify for ourselves exactly what occurred. Not just for ourselves. I have to have those medical records available because when I send the records to a medical expert, now he has to have all those records in order to verify that the treatment you received was not appropriate. In fact, I have to get those medical records, I have to get the hospital records, and now I have to go through every single page of that record. Why? Because I have to justify for myself whether or not I think there may be a valid case here. Now, you should know, simply my review of the case, my review of your records, is not sufficient to justify bringing a lawsuit. Why? Because in New York, we are required to actually have a medical doctor, an expert, confirm that you have a valid basis for a case. And as part of the papers that we are required to file at the very beginning of your lawsuit, we must indicate to the court that yes, I have gone ahead, had a medical expert review the records who does in fact confirm that you have a valid basis for a case. You might be thinking, okay, this should take just a couple of weeks. No, that's not what happens. It's not a simple matter of, okay, let's go pick up your records and now we can review them and I'll let you know in a couple of weeks. No, no, no. In order to get your medical records, we have to go through a process of requesting them. So you have to sign a permission slip. We take that permission slip, send it off to the doctor's office. The doctor's office gets to it when they get to it. And then they typically say, okay, you have to pay us for copying costs. Fine, we'll pay you for copying costs. Then we also need, oh wow, I've got a woodpecker right up, there he's hold on. There is a woodpecker. Let's see if I can get it in the background. Right up there, right up in there. It is so cool to watch. He just flew away and now he's on another tree. That is awesome. There he is. Pretty. I think he does have a nest in there. Can you see it? So now I go ahead and get one of your medical records. It takes a few weeks. Now I go ahead and try and get hospital records. That takes more weeks. Now I get another doctor's records. It takes even more weeks. Next thing you know, it's taken months and months to accumulate all of your records. Now I have to go through each and every one of your medical records, which takes time, and then I have to retain a medical expert and send him all the records, and now it will take him time to go ahead and evaluate your case. At the very end of his evaluation, he will reach out to me and tell me, okay, Mr. Oginski, I've had an opportunity to review all the records you sent to me. Here is my opinion. And now, based upon his opinion, I can come back to you and tell you, okay, here's exactly what our expert had to say. Here's what he thinks is good. Here's what he thinks is bad. And here's what our plan of action is. So I understand that you wanted to start this case the same day you picked up the phone to call me. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen. So why do I share this information with you? I share it with you just to give you a sense of exactly what happens in these medical malpractice cases in New York. You know, I realize you're likely watching this video because you enjoy the scenery and want to see the woodpecker. Now, I realize you likely have questions and concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit, but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.